Hi everybody, this is Barry Schwartz from the Search Engine Roundtable, Rusty Brick. This is the Friday, December 18th edition of the Search Buzz Video Recap. We'll break down the news for you that we covered over the past week at SERoundtable.com, so stay tuned, and we got a lot of topics to talk about. The first thing I wanted to talk about was an announcement. I am hosting the XMX SpinCon Israel event. That's coming up on March 7th, so if you are in the Israel area, we are having the second ever SpinCon in Israel. It's in Jerusalem. It's at the Jerusalem College of Technology on March 7th. It's a Sunday. It's the Sunday after XMX West. And it's going to cover a lot of topics. It's a half-day event. It's very cheap. It's only going to be $50. And there are only going to be about 200 attendees or so. We already sold out about half the conference in about a few days. So you definitely want, if you're definitely in the area, or if you're maybe going to be in the area, you probably want to register as soon as possible. You can learn more information about this at SERoundtable.com and go to the archives, go to December 15th, or just go to searchmarketingexpo.com/SpinCon, which is spelled SPHINNCON, or just go to searchmarketingexpo.com, and then at the bottom of the page is a link to it. Again, $50, March 7th to 2010, and it's taking place in Jerusalem, Israel. So here we're going to talk about pretty much Google Webmaster related or Google search related topics. We have about 5 topics that I want to point out specifically this week. The main thing this week was that Google announced cross-domain canonical tag support. Basically what that means is Google announced the canonical tag earlier this year with Yahoo and Microsoft. Actually, Microsoft still does not support it. I don't know why. They announced it earlier this year, but they haven't yet supported it yet. Anyway, Google has supported it for a long time. And now they're allowing you to do this cross-domain. What the canonical tag basically does is gives you a way to tell Google about a 301 redirect without using a 301 redirect. Basically saying this page A, has been moved to page B, and it basically does that. It tells Googlebot that without having to actually make users redirect to the new page. This comes in handy with tracking URLs. It comes in handy with specific pages that you do not want to move people to, such as adding a lot of sorting parameters to URLs or stuff like that, where you don't want an average user to be redirected, but you do want Googlebot to be redirected because it's really duplicate content for Googlebot, but it's not necessarily duplicate content. It's a view of content that's separate, that's different and filtered for a user. So that's where these things come in handy. Also, when you don't have access to do 301 redirects as well, it comes in handy. Now, Google's allowing you to do cross-domain canonicalization, which basically allows you to say from domain A to domain B, or to specific pages on domain A page to a domain B page, is able to do that across domains, which is a new thing that's allowed. Google's saying specifically it's only a hint. They might not use it fully, but it really gives you the ability to now move things like WordPress blogs hosted on the WordPress platform or on Blogspot blogs, so the ability to add a meta tag, if they allow you to do the meta tags in the header elements, and to say I move my site from this site to another site when specifically you don't have access to do so, or when you come into the issue. So we have a long post about this with lots of details on December 16th at SERoundtable.com. Moving on to the next topic. Supposedly, on December 14th, pretty much over the weekend, a lot of people have reported that their PageRank has dropped or changed. This might be one of those PageRank penalties that are going across. Basically, we discussed a lot of PageRank penalties back in November 2007, January 2008, and February 2008. It's pretty much gone silent because Google does these. It hasn't been such a mass penalty sweep through the blogs and through the different sites out there since then. But it seems like there was some type of spike in the communication about some type of PageRank update where sites have been hit by a PageRank penalty, specifically this December. So we have posts and links to all the different threads and discussions on December 14th at SERoundtable.com. Next on the Google Webmaster front is that looks like they're probably going to add PDF support to the Fetch as Googlebot. Google released a Google Webmaster Tools Labs product, meaning beta, which basically allows you to access a URL as Googlebot would. So accessing a URL as a Googlebot spider would see it because it's accessing it from the Googlebot servers as Googlebot as a user agent. So if there's any hidden links, cloaking, or whatever going on that you don't know about, or you want to see how Googlebot actually sees your content, you're able to do that using this tool in the Labs product. What Google supposedly hasn't allowed yet is that they won't allow you to use that to fetch PDFs. Right now, all PDF documents seem to be coming up as binary, at least from my tests and from the post in the thread. But it seems like Susan over at the Google Webmaster Trends team said they're looking into this, and hopefully they'll have something out available soon for webmasters to use in terms of the PDF. On the web search front of Google dropped earlier this month answers.com as that definition link. Remember when you do a search in Google, usually in the top bar next to the number of results, after the number of results, one of X, of about X, it says for the keyword, and after the keyword sometimes it would show a definition link. That went to answers.com. Google has dropped that earlier this month or later last month in lieu of in exchange for their own dictionary, their own definitions, and now it goes to google.com/dictionary with the actual dictionary answers. Some people aren't happy about that, but that's the way it is. Finally, Google is testing a new infinite scroll feature on their image search. Microsoft had this on their live search, brought along with their, which came along with their obviously Bing image search. Basically, infinite scroll is basically when you scroll down the image search results, instead of going to a new page, it actually just keeps loading more images. It's like an Ajax type of thing where it keeps loading images as you scroll, which makes it a little bit faster. I personally like it. Google gave me a comment saying they're actually testing it, and who knows if they'll keep it, but they're actually testing it, and they have nothing more to say about that right now. We have two Bing-related topics for you. Microsoft may be adding what they have called page score. It's basically their page rank type of formula to the MSN or Bing Toolbar. This came from Brett Yunt over at the Bing Webmaster team. He posted in the Bing forum saying that it's possible that they might add the page score value to their toolbar. There's two things that we learned from this post from Brett. One was that the Bing's page score may come to the toolbar, obviously, and the second thing is that they may be reworking that tool, which I believe they're talking about the page score. So they might be reworking their page score to make it more unique, maybe more like Google, or maybe less like Google, but something more unique for webmasters to look at and to gain from. We have more discussions about this on our SERoundtable.com on December 17th. Finally, on the big front, we have a topic on December 16th where Microsoft Bing, their MSN bot, their crawler, MSN bot, seems to be crawling twice. Once the compressed version, the gzip version of the page, and the second one, they're crawling the uncompressed version. I don't know why this is happening. Brett over at the forums went ahead and said that this might be a bug. To send more information to Microsoft, he listed an email address. But at the time, it seems like Microsoft's crawling many pages twice, one for the compressed version and one for the uncompressed version. Again, it might be a bug. The other week, we reported that Google has been sending out these neat decals, which business owners can place on their business storefront or in their business location, which basically have these QR codes. Basically, it looks like a fancy barcode in a block, in a square, and you scan that with your mobile device, and up comes a link, which should take you to the Google Maps results for that business listing. So we at Rusty Brick got ours this Friday. It was pretty exciting, but so did like thousands of other people, I think, got theirs as well. And what happened was we hung it up on a wall. I posted a video of this so you could actually see it in the video on December 11th at SERoundtable.com. And we posted it on a wall. I took a scan of it using an Android device and also a iPhone. And what happened was it took me to a wrong business. So I went ahead and wrote a post called "My Google Favorites Place Decal was hijacked." Pretty, it was a pretty strong blog post title. But anyway, I thought it was cute. So after I posted that, literally within like a few minutes, Ryan from Google, I believe Ryan Haywood from Google, who's pretty much in charge of this whole favorite places type of program, went ahead and asked me to download a new barcode scanner, and when I downloaded that new one, it actually worked. He said sometimes with certain barcode scanners, they get the information wrong. They don't scan it in a higher quality, the amount of quality they need to, and it can take you to the wrong place. That my barcode was actually right, and this is an issue that you don't have to worry about. In general, it's just really something that happened with the barcode scanner itself, and as long as you have a quality barcode scanner, it should be fine. Later on December 17th, I wrote a blog post about other people, literally probably a good 20 or so people came onto Google Maps and said, "Hey, I got the decal as well," and for some reason when I scan it, it doesn't work either. What happened was And the reason for most of these complaints is because Google recommended using an iPhone scanner called QuickMark. QuickMark released a new update on December 11th, which actually had a bug which sent people to the wrong, which encoded the URLs wrong and sent people to the wrong business. QuickMark fixed it, but they're waiting for Apple to approve the bug. And because of this, there's tons of people complaining in the forums that their barcodes are not working properly. So this is a major issue for a lot of people, but this should fix itself, hopefully, and hopefully more barcode scanners that are quality will come out and people won't have this issue. Let's talk about paid search and contextual stuff. On the contextual side, Google sent out an email to all their, not all, to many of their AdSense publishers, basically saying they're sorry, they mixed up some reporting, they mixed up the reporting between the link units and the regular ad units, and it's a reporting issue only, you got paid the right amount, but when they associated income with link units, it really sometimes should have been associated with your regular ad units. So if you have been doing any optimization based on the reporting, you might have to go back and take a look at those numbers. We have a post about it today on December 18th. If you want to take a look at the email and what Google had to say about that, definitely take a look at that. On the paid search side, Yahoo had a bug where it was down for a certain period of time. The error pretty much read, we're currently experiencing a technical issue that causing some of your ads not to be displayed properly to users. This may cause your account to receive a lower volume of clicks. Just be aware of this issue, they're working on it, and blah, 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 blah. Later on that day, Yahoo Pete, official Yahoo representative, went into the Webmaster World thread that reported this and said he could confirm that this issue was resolved approximately at 10:30 a.m. Pacific time on December 15th. So it wasn't a long bug, but it happened, and there was a bug with Yahoo paid search, Yahoo search marketing ads not working for many. Two important, somewhat important miscellaneous Google stuff. One is that they came out with their URL shortener. Obviously, this is a major sting to Bitly or to TinyURL. Their URL shortener is Google, but GOO.GL. Currently, it only works if you actually use the Google Toolbar or if you use FeedBurner. There's like a sharing feature in there. Outside of that, they haven't opened it up to plug in for anybody. They might in the future, they said, but they haven't yet. We have a post about that on December 15th if you want to take a look at it. Some controversy around that, as you can imagine. Also, there's some news today or last night that Google might be buying Yelp. Yelp is an incredibly popular local search engine with local reviews, a social networking site. It's very, very popular, very, very used amongst the local people, social people out there in the world. And it's a really great product. And there's news that Google might buy them for $30 million. Google might buy them for $500 million, around $500 million. Supposedly Yelp earned $30 million last year. They might be earning $50 million in 2010. The question is this true? If this is going to happen, how it might impact Google Maps and Google Local? That's really to be seen in the future. All right, so now we're going to discuss 4 fun topics that happened this week in the search engine community. One was that Google, again, there's some discussion about Google not sending out gifts for this holiday season. It looks like they're not going to be doing that. But AdSense Advisor posted a thread over at Webmaster World saying, I quote, "If you're a publisher in good standing with AdSense and you're ever in the Bay Area, shoot me a private message and I'll be happy to invite you for lunch at Google." So basically Google is inviting publishers for Christmas lunch, which is nice. At the same time, Martini Buster, a very popular Webmaster World moderator, said, you know what, stop asking what Google's giving to you. They're paying you, they're giving you a great way to make money. Send them a Christmas card saying thank you to them instead of you asking them for a gift back. So that's a pretty funny topic that was nice to see. If you go to google.com, you click on I'm feeling lucky button, the button on the right. Don't type anything into the search box. Just click on that button and you'll see a countdown to New Year's. Basically, it shows you in minutes, or in seconds actually, how many, shows you in sections how much time there is until New Year's comes up. We also had 2 Google logos this week. Let me zoom, one Google logo this week, a Google Doodle for LL Zamarov. He basically invented a language called Esperanto, and what I'm doing is I'm zooming in to show you the logo. Here you go. That's the logo. It's basically the flag for the language. Currently, nobody really uses this in a country. No country has assigned this as language, but there are people who talk about this, who actually use it. Google actually has a specialized search engine that is in this language. He actually celebrated his 150th birthday. Obviously, he's not alive anymore, but Google wanted to commemorate his birthday. Also, yesterday was the 20th birthday of The Simpsons, and as you can see, There were some complaints that Google didn't have a logo, but we had a logo up there on our Search Engine Roundtable for that day, which was pretty nice, I thought, that we had a logo. It's a pretty cool day. And as I mentioned last week, it is Hanukkah this whole week, and the Search Engine Roundtable currently has a theme up there. I don't know if you can see it, with dreidel spelling out SEO. So that is currently live. I will be taking that down. I believe tomorrow night is the last day of Hanukkah, so I will be taking it down either Saturday night or Sunday. Definitely take a look at that. So that was pretty much this past week at the Search Engine Roundtable. Thanks for listening. My name again is Barry Schwartz. This is the past news we covered over at the SEOroundtable.com. This is the Search Buzz video recap for Friday, December 18th. Hopefully we'll see you guys next week. Everyone have a great week.